Hello everybody, it's Saturday, February 8th, and I'm here with another installment of my blog. So I don't really have much to report when it comes to what I'm doing this week. I'm still working on the big review I told you guys about last week. It's probably going to take me longer than I thought. I've been playing a little bit more of The Witcher 2, and I'm really enjoying it. I'm liking it very much. It's a fantastic game. I hope that some of you who saw my gameplay of The Witcher might have maybe been interested in checking out the game. I highly recommend it. It's a very good game. The Witcher 2 is leaps and bounds better than the first one, so that's good. I've been meaning to play The Wolf Among Us Episode 2, but I'll get to it later why I've had to wait. In fact, with that, I don't really have much else to say for what's going on with me, so why don't we just jump into the news? So like I said, I've been meaning to play Episode 2 of The Wolf Among Us. I played Episode 1, and I loved it. I thought it was great. Episode 2 came out on Tuesday on PC, Wednesday on the consoles. And I tried to go download it from Xbox Live. I bought the season pass when I played the first episode, and when I went to go download it, it kept prompting me to pay the $5 for the episode. Well, I looked into it, and apparently this is a problem that Telltale Games and Microsoft are having with people who bought the season pass for The Wolf Among Us. Don't worry though, there is a resolution. I checked today, and Telltale is sending out codes via a Xbox Live message for a download for Episode 2. So you redeem the code and then you get the download, and then hopefully they'll work out all the kinks so that this doesn't happen with Episode 3 or 4 or 5. Telltale did say that they are working with Microsoft to resolve the problem, but for now this is a quick fix. So if you have been having problems and haven't been able to download The Wolf Among Us Episode 2, if you've been prompted to pay for it every time you try and download it, check your messages and maybe you'll find a message there from Xbox Live with a code so that you can download the episode and get playing the game. I downloaded it this morning, so I plan on playing it after the video's done. I've got it uploading. I'm going to jump into The Wolf Among Us Episode 2, and I'll let you guys know what I think next week when I talk to you again. More news for Xbox 360 players. If you've been anticipating Titanfall like I have been, and you're planning on playing it on 360, like I'm not, because I'm going to play it on PC, then unfortunately you're going to have to wait 2 weeks to play the game after the PC and the Xbox One get it. Now EA said that Blueprint Games is being given this 2-week time delay to, quote, give them the time they need to put the finishing touches on the current gen version of the game, end quote. I mean, if you're anticipating playing it on the 360, now you gotta wait 2 weeks, but 2 weeks isn't that bad. It's a lot better than a few months, right? And if it means that when you get the game it's not broken, all the better, right? So for those of you who are playing it on the PC or on the Xbox One, you can expect it March 11th in North America, March 13th in Europe, and if you're playing it on the 360, it's March 25th in North America, March 28th in Europe. So expect it then. Also this week, Sega announced a brand new Sonic game called Sonic Boom that will tie into a Sonic TV show that'll air on the Cartoon Network this year and next year. Now if you look at the characters, they're a little bit redesigned. Sonic's got some bandages on his feet, and he's got a fancy hipster scarf, and Knuckles looks like he's been hitting the whey protein a little bit. I actually thought that looked kind of cool. Sonic hasn't had a redesign in a long time since it went from 2D to 3D. Everything's kind of looked the same. Also, all the Sonic games kind of play relatively the same with a few exceptions. But these characters don't look that different, so I wouldn't really call this a redesign like everyone else seems to be calling it. It's more of just a touch-up, really. It's kind of clever for Sega to be doing something where they're tying a TV show into a video game, because then one could boost sales of the other and vice versa. Still, every time a Sonic game comes out, I take it with a grain of salt, because frankly there hasn't been one I've been interested in or one that's been very good for quite a while. But hey, I'm always willing to give it a chance. We'll see how it works out. Personally, I like the redesign of the characters. I think they look pretty cool. And if you're wondering why Sonic has a scarf, that's because Robert Rafey, who worked with Naughty Dog for 13 years as its art designer, founded Big Red Button, one of the developers of the game. Now Big Red Button and Sanzario will be developing Sonic Boom for 3DS and Wii U. So that'll be interesting having fresh developers take over the Sonic license. I'm curious to see what they come up with. And in the news that surprised the crap out of me this week, Amazon bought Double Helix. Now Double Helix are of course the developers of the Xbox One exclusive title Killer Instinct. So it's pretty interesting that Amazon would pick them up. There's been rumors that Amazon had been thinking about releasing an Android-based console of their own. If they are in fact thinking about releasing a console, having a developer like Double Helix, who has a lot of experience developing quality titles, that could really help their platform along. Now personally, I think it's a really, really bad idea to release an Android-based console. I smell a second Ouya But hey, that's their prerogative. If Amazon wants to break into it, there's nothing saying that they couldn't do it. They certainly have the money behind them. But I think what's most surprising to me is that Microsoft didn't jump on the opportunity to buy Double Helix themselves. I mean, they do have a dearth of first-party studios, so you'd think that they'd want to grab somebody who made such a successful first-party title for the Xbox One, maybe commission them to make a Killer Instinct 2. It seems like it would have been a good idea to lock that IP down and lock that developer down. So it sounds to me like maybe Microsoft might be regretting that decision to not do that. Well, that's it, ladies and gentlemen. That's the news that interested me this week. I'm going to put this video up. I'm going to go outside because it's gorgeous out there. And then I'm going to come back home and play Wolf Among Us Episode 2. And I'll let you guys know what I think of it next week when I see you again. Thanks again for joining me. Thanks again for the positive comments on the videos. I always appreciate that. If you guys ever want to leave a comment, please feel free. If you have any questions for me, you have any criticisms, I'm open to hearing them. If maybe you don't have a YouTube account, you can always hit me up on Twitter, @Dolmination, which you should be seeing at the bottom of the screen. Hopefully I'm smart enough to do that. And that's all for this week. I will see you guys again next week. Thanks again.